Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I am Alex Dingman.
I'm Jeff Doss. How you doing, guys? Yeah?
Brother,
Boom.
how's it going? Episode
Man,
61,
it's crazy.
Inside Scoop. Here we are. We're back. Man, I got to tell you, sometimes I just like it when you and I just get to just talk like this a little bit, when it's just us.
Right.
I love the guests because
yeah.
we always love our guests.
Yes.
But, yeah, sometimes it's good to just catch
Yeah,
up
get
this
back
way.
to
Man. How's your day?
How we start? It's been busy, man. Been hectic, but just went and finished classes, then worked on some other things, and then ran back here to do this. So just been busy.
Dude, before we
great
get to the
stuff.
pod, I gotta tell you, I was talking to a director about this. Jeff,
Yep.
do you ever do golf?
No.
Dude, let me tell you this. I'm gonna say, forgive me for those of you guys who love golf. Golf is the biggest freaking waste of time. All right, I golfed today. My boss basically made me golf. Right, which I'm like, it eats up hours and hours
It does.
and hours
It
every
does.
day. That's why everybody who golfs is retired, because they don't have anything else to do.
Right.
I don't know anybody else who has extra time, let alone
Right.
multiple hours in the middle of the day. Like by the time I was done, I had more work to do than if I would have never even went.
Right.
Like, this is
Especially like during the week, like on the weekends, okay, I kind of get it, but man, during the week, it's crazy. Yeah, it's
you know what
never
was
worked
worse?
out for me.
I golfed in a foursome, and I have not picked up. It's honest, so totally sincere. I have not picked up a club in a decade. Honest decade.
Yeah, I get that.
So I
It's
went out
probably
there
the
and
same for me.
and I told everybody, I said, listen, if you guys don't beat me by at least 10 strokes, you should just go rethink your life, because you guys
Right.
your clubs are worth thousands of dollars.
That's right.
I picked mine up at Target.
Right.
I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, no, the last time I played was I think it was before my brother's wedding. So yeah, it's almost been 10 years. And I hit a house, a really nice house. So yeah. And then I think the time before that we did it for a friend of ours. Or maybe it was the time after that, and I broke a club. So yeah.
We need to have Cass Sigmund come on and just give us some tips or something like
Right.
that.
That's right.
Cass, if you're listening, you're coming on because you're going to give us
Cass
a little pro
and also Chris Gallio. Gallio
Yeah.
is also same thing. He went to school for that as well. So
for real.
he's
Yeah.
big into golf as well. So
All right, those are our pro golfers. Hey, before we jump into the pod, well, now that we're jumping into the pod,
yes,
we got some we have a new segment we're doing where we're going to kick off a few martial arts related viral videos on either Instagram or TikTok. Here we're on the TikTok right now. So videos to start your pod. Here we go. Let's get the first one out here. My goodness. All right. So for those of you guys who who are just listening to this audio, we're going to narrate this a little bit. So we got a karate demo. Guys kicking a pumpkin off a kid's head. Bam. Perfect.
Beautiful. And
next one destroys the side of the kid's head.
Beautiful. And the kid is done.
Look at that one. So the first one's perfect, and the second one. So the guy obviously he doesn't pivot, he doesn't rotate his hips.
No,
he's wearing shoes.
Yeah,
it's another martial arts crime. All right, and he doesn't get it up high enough, but he doesn't even come close to kicking the pumpkin. He just destroys the kid in the head.
Dude, it's terrible. It's Amos Walker, man. These are as much as. It's funny, okay? It's hilarious.
It's funny. It's one of those things you see on America's Funniest Home Videos.
Yeah, but I feel bad for the kid. So, all right.
Of course.
Let's go to the next one. This is even better.
This one's even better. It's perfect because it's exactly what you would see. You see clearly a bunch of bros hanging out, drinking in the backyard.
Yep.
And one guy had to say, "Yo, bro, watch this one, man. I can kick this beer can off your head. Watch this." So the guy goes down.
Not only tries to kick it off, he tries to do a tornado kick. All right.
And he wasn't even like
tornado kick ever.
And his buddy, who's being literally a dummy for him,
right?
He faces him, so he doesn't even kick him in the side of the head or back of the head. It's his face,
nose. And it's all like the bottom of the
his-
shin, ankle, that whole part.
Everything
there.
was horrible.
Yeah. Oh,
This
just-
was the worst. Another
oh.
thing, it's like, look at, like, you didn't even come close to a
No,
chance.
not even.
Not even close. Look at
It's-
this. Now
crazy.
we've seen, you've seen karate demos go bad before. You ever seen anything like this before?
So let's see. I've seen some people get hit. Yeah, I mean, with things like that, but not like that bad. Oh, all right. I've seen some breaking routines go bad.
That's kind of, this is right up that alley.
So this is definitely that. People just doing stuff they shouldn't be doing and just jacking themselves up. One of the craziest ones was Super Grands 2002 in Panama City, and it was my buddy Zach. He was from
This is like the breaking division.
Yeah, and it was at Super Grands, and
Okay.
he's from Ohio, and was part of Jerry Roberts' team, and he goes and does. Can't hear me. And he goes and does a just fall away headbutt, like a drop head, just boom on a board, just laying right there, and he just hits his head, his whole body just hits and bounce off, right? And it was crazy. And he kept trying all these crazy stuff and none of them were working. Okay. And so, yeah. So that was pretty bad. And the thing is too, like, he didn't go just to do breaking. So he was like a continuous fighter and a point fighter. So he had a concussion before he even competed the rest of the week. So
Dude, that's kind of embarrassing. You go to a karate tournament, you get knocked out.
Yeah, doing breaking
by yourself.
Right. So that was pretty bad. Yeah. Anybody else share some of the craziest demo flubs that you've seen?
I got one that's kind of similar to what we were looking at. We saw the one guys with the pumpkin. So this happened. This was like a black belt exam. It was like a higher level black belt exam. I'm going to drop names. I'm going to tell you exactly what happened.
Yeah.
So it was the NK black belt exam, right? And so Dean Furstenberg was testing for like 4-3 black belt, something like that, right? Something high. It was high ranking to the point where they let him do his own type of demonstration. He says, I want to do a breaking demo. He says, I'm not going to break boards. I'm going to break fruit. So kind of like we were looking.
Oh, okay.
And he made sure like he had tarps set up and everything. He actually did a pretty good job with that.
Right.
So, and he went to do like this watermelon and he had people holding it, right?
Oh,
and when everything was set up, so when he goes to do like an axe kick, all right, no big deal. It's not even going to be bad. It's not even going to be hard.
Right.
It's just going to kind of look cool.
Right. Uh-oh.
So he does the axe kick. All right. And there's like you would see any black belt exam, a panel of black belts like up in the front, just kind of sitting there watching the whole thing, right? So he does the axe kick. It doesn't break going down. It breaks going out, like forward towards the panel. And the whole watermelon sprays Larry Carnahan from head to toe.
Wow.
And doesn't get anybody else.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Talk about a bad moment.
Yeah,
Am I right?
Bad.
That's bad.
Right. I think it kind of reminds me of I might have shared this before, but I was at Brian Pinna's tournament and the term before I found like a big water jug, and this is the first time I got the big water jug because I always did the water bottle over my head, right?
Oh, right.
I'm gonna up it up. So the tournament before this, I go somewhere and find like a big one. It's a hard bottle. It was good, so it was funny that I did the big bottle over my head and then went and did my form. So I'm like, all right, I got to do this again. They're ready for it. I couldn't find where we went anything like that. So all they had was like a water jug that was like almost like a milk jug. You know how thin those are? So,
yes.
So I drank that. I put the top back on. It's not, screw on top or anything.
No, it's
just,
going to fly. You shake
so
it.
I go, boom. The whole water goes right on the sound system. All of it right there. The guy's flipping out, and I just run on stage, do my form, go off the other side, and I'm out. I'm like, yeah, this didn't turn out good. Yeah, so
I would have been pissed if I was that guy.
Yeah,
I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah, no, I know. I was like, oh my God, it feels so bad. He was still mad for a few years. Like even So I wasn't allowed to do that like near him again. I'd be on the other side, away from it, if I was going to do anything like that. So yeah, it's pretty
Wow.
bad. There was one more too. For some reason, I can't. But I've seen several different ones of people just, messing themselves up with the boards and things like that, man.
Well, U.S. Open's they always have the biggest breaking division, that we see in any kind of karate tournament. Well, sport karate tournament.
Right.
So in 2035, when tournaments are back, we'll have to pay attention to the U.S. Open. Maybe we'll have a segment on there. Who knows, right?
Who knows, right? Yeah.
There we go.
Oh,
all
man.
right, well, let's get into the next segment, which is our competitors of the week.
Yes, sir.
I'll go first. My competitor of the week is Colin O'Brien.
Yes, sir.
So Colin O'Brien is a young competitor. He is one of those competitors who does 617 divisions each tournament, right?
Yep.
So and I like this a lot. So I did a lot of divisions when I really first started competing nationally and last. So I'd always been a competitor. When I just decided, like, okay, I'm going to do this as much as I can.
Right.
I did as many divisions as I could. And I would probably I remember doing 6 divisions multiple times. And I'm, I don't do forms like you did, Jeff. You did every form and you were fantastic at it. But I knew that it was important to do things like that to really get the reps, to really understand, to really figure out, all right, where do you fall? Where is your best thing?
That's right. Exactly. Yep.
So, there was a guy we had that we talked about on the show a few weeks ago when we had Ross Levine on. He was talking about him and he said, let's just call it out, John Boyd. So John Boyd sucked
at
a lot of things. He tried them all. He tried them all. He was garbage at like everything until he picked up a sword. But that was like 12 years after he started competing nationally.
Yeah, I mean,
Colin,
he was doing the sword. He just didn't hit the way that he needed to. So
Colin, however, is very, very good at a lot of them. So he does them all. He does traditional forms. He does traditional weapons. He does creative weapons. He does extreme. He does musical. He does forms. He does it all. All right.
Does
very
he do
good.
Fighting?
He does fight.
Yep.
And he fights a lot. Very talented fighter. So and the thing is, so I see him on a regular basis. Right. So the thing I really love about Colin is he does steadily level up little bit by little bit. So you saw him a few years ago. He would be one of those. He'd just be one of the guys who would get between 5th and 3rd place. And just be a number. It just really kind of interchangeable. At that point. Then he started getting to the point where he's winning or he's taking runner-up. He's winning or he's taking runner-up. Then he started getting to the point where it's like, okay, now you're not only in the runoffs, you're starting to make the finals, right? So he's like small progressions, right? He's constantly setting expectations. He's leveling up. And too many people try to skip steps. And he's not skipping any steps.
No.
And they try to go to where, it's like, all right, this is my first year out. I got to start making the finals and I got to start winning grands. That might not be your next step. You might need 7 more steps before you get there.
Right.
I just tell people all the time, like when you're really first starting form competition, you want to just try to get your name called. You want to try and get the top 8. If you've never done this game on that level before, don't try to say like, I'm gonna get this whole thing. What's up, Jero?
Hey, Jero.
So, and that's what I love about him the most. And I don't think there's really anything that he can't, do. He's even done Chinese style forms before.
Yeah.
That was his first.
Well.
That was his first school that he trained with, was a Kung Fu style school. So,
he did a couple of different seminars with me during this COVID time. And I know him and his sister
Katie.
Did my kicking
Katie Smart.
class. They did my kicking class a lot. And he also won my Ironman challenge for my tournament, for my online tournament. And he won the junior competition. He impressed Carmichael, John Sue, Matt Emming, all these guys, Chris Walker, all the judges that we had Kalman, just because of his consistency and his just being able to mix it up, so it was pretty cool. And
there's no question about the kid's talent.
No, so I'm excited. He's one of those kids that's kept up during this lack of competition time by staying active and training. So I think he's going to be one of those that's going to step up big time next year. So,
yep. He's on in there. He hasn't shown like a lot of really regression. Like, man, you were leveling up, and all of a sudden it's like, dude, what happened to you, man?
Right.
That's not really happening. It's just been small, little levels up.
Yeah.
Each time.
And so he also listens to the show too. He's made a lot of comments.
Oh yeah. I'm surprised he's not on right now. What's up with you, Colin? How come you're not chiming in?
He's probably still training. So awesome, man. Yeah, great one. So looking forward to seeing the progress of him and his sister too. So all right, my competitor of the week. He's got a big fight coming up next week.
That's right.
And man, I've known this dude for so long. My competitor week is Willie Hicks.
Lump.
All right, Lump. So I met Willie, like really remembering meeting Willie back in like 2000, but I know that we saw each other before then at certain tournaments. But yeah, I mean, I remember seeing that he won the 99 Super Grands and be like, okay, and hearing about SCS and meeting him and just being like, dude, this guy is legit,
Right.
And just the way that he led his teams when he was a junior, not the biggest guy, but the confidence that he had was something that has carried him throughout, even to this day. He's one of the most confident fighters. He will find a way to win, and he has against people that, it's crazy, like when he has, a winning record over people like Raymond and Trevor, like, come on, those are two of the best we've ever seen.
Isn't that just wild?
Right. And,
and I don't want to say that like he shouldn't, because that's not the case.
No, but he
not a lot of people have winning records against them.
Correct. And he just amazes me. He's a fun dude, a funny dude. Guy's been into it forever. But as a junior, like, he was with some people that weren't at his level yet. He was kind of leading them, and he would put them on his back and win that team fight.
Oh, for sure.
So
for sure.
That was something that always kind of stuck with me. And so when he moved up to adults, it was one of those competitors that we've talked about over the past that like everyone was ready to see what happened when he moved up to adults, and he did really well. Sometimes he kind of went up and down, but he did really well. And so, yes, exactly. He says it like, this is my house, that's the way it is. And so him and I kind of had similar accomplishments, because we were the first ones to win 4 overall NBL Super Grands titles. Him, myself, and Regina. I ended up winning 5, but they won the most women fighting one ever. And it's impressive, especially the ones people that he beat to get to that. So beating Trevor to win those, beating Jamal, beating different ones, in the finals to win that. So yeah, it's pretty exciting. I'm pumped up.
What does Brett say? He didn't grow into the biggest, but when he broke into at 14, 15, he was full grown.
Right.
Straight up. That's exactly it.
Yeah. You're not too late, Mike Bates. You're not too late. No, but Willie Hicks, one of my favorite fighters, great guy. And I mean, his list of accomplishments are just amazing. And I'm excited to see him and Vito fight next weekend for the virtual fight tour. This is a fight that's happened a lot. They're good friends. They definitely, though, like, that doesn't mean it's going to be. Listen, when you go to Texas, you go to a tournament and you see Gypsy versus whatever team Willie is on, it's heated, and it's going to be that way. It's going to be legit. It's going to be great. And it's been a while since I've seen it like live, so I'm excited for that one.
So Willie and I have fought a couple times. Willie, I've seen this guy. I remember when I first watching him, I didn't even recognize him. I didn't point him out. You're right. It was when he was junior, and I'm watching Pedro coach someone. I'm like, who is Pedro over here coaching some junior, right? And I'm like, who? Well, this guy must be something. Let's go figure out what's going on. And yeah, he just lit people up. Like he's so much more athletic than everyone he's fighting, and they would be bigger than him, and it didn't matter. But when you said it, like, oh, it's just so much more confident. Like you're right on.
Yeah.
So it was a Kumite Classic in 2016. When they said, all right, we're giving out like $350,000. Which no, this is not a knock. It's not, because Bill Biola did give out $10,000.
Yeah,
for the
he
team
gave
fights.
Yep. Awesome,
yeah,
man.
yeah, there you go, Colin. Yeah, Colin, we dropped your name. You were the competitor of the week. There you go.
That's right.
And they did. Bill gave out, I think it was $5,000 to the winner, $2,500 to the runner-up,
and then $1,000
and $500 to
the
third and fourth
places.
place.
Yep.
Right. So he did. He did all that. He did.
Yeah.
So he totally honored that, because was kind of like the thing. Like, you're saying you're going to give all this. A lot of people have said stuff like this before. You're going to do it. He did it. But anyway, in that, Impex was lined up. They had to fight All-Stars, because the All-Stars had 2 teams. So it was All-Stars, 1, with Ray and Trevor and Jack and yada yada. So, and at this level in my game, I don't watch fighters as much as I watch coaches. So I'm watching Richard Plowden. Richard Plowden, just because he's a soft-spoken guy, says to him, he goes, all right, Willie, I need you to create some magic. And I'm like, oh, let's see this.
Yeah.
And, Ray's going for it. They're up a little bit. Willie starts to bring it back, and Ray tries something just amazing, right? And Willie blocks it. And he's like, I blocks that shit. I'm like, oh my goodness. This is fantastic.
Oh, I love it.
This is just fantastic. And he is high entertainment. Right.
And the year before that, that was when he beat Raymond in the final. So,
you're right. When he's got this match against Vito coming up, I'm like, man. Willie and I fought each other 2 times. Two different tournaments. All right. First time we fought, he beat me by a good amount. All right. The next tournament we fought, I beat him a couple times. But I'm wondering, like, all right, what's this going to be like with Vito? Because I'm like, ooh. If Vito goes with all of his strengths, he could beat him, but that's also what could play right into Willie's hand. Like, I don't know how that's going to go. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. I mean, and I've seen Willie be down and by a lot and come back and just pull it off, and
you almost wonder, how?
Right. I mean, that was the thing with Leon trying to beat Willie for a long time in the BL tournaments of the Westpac. And somehow he would creep one out and do it. It's just that confidence that he's going to pull it out and make it happen. So, yeah, man. So,
all right, should we get into our topic?
Yes.
Okay.
I know we got a lot of people asking about what your pick is and all that. We'll get into that probably.
We'll get into that. Was that not even for a little while?
No, it's next weekend. It's next weekend. But
is it already next weekend?
Yeah, it's already next week. We may get it at the end. So
keep
it in there.
We got next week still.
Well, we got a guess, but yeah.
Oh yeah, we can still
figure that out.
That's okay.
All right.
So let's get into our topic, Jeff. What are we calling this next segment?
Pre-competition routines, right? Or even competition routines. So.
Yep.
All right. So, what are some of your and guys at home? We want to hear in the comments your pre-competition routines. Maybe funny ones. Maybe it doesn't have to be something that's crazy, or just let us know, or even ones that you've heard of other people that had, right? So.
Oh yeah, we don't care. Drop rumors.
Yeah,
we don't care. It doesn't even have to be true.
Well, we're going to tell about everybody else. We're not going to share ours, right? All right. So, what you got? Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
So you think about it when you say pre-competition. In some ways, it's the training, and in some ways, when you got to think about like what are you thinking when you're talking about this? You know, and it's like, all right, it's competition day or it's competition time. So it's like, all right, we got to get there. So the travel could be part of it. Like, all right, what are we doing? Do I always pick a flight that's around this time? Do I always travel? Do I always do this type of thing? Is this my thing? So let's just get back into it. So if I have a tournament that I'm going to, whether I'm traveling or not, is a big one, right? Say it's a national one. This might sound funny. All right. I really wouldn't, because I lift weights, right?
Yeah.
I would not lift legs that week.
Yeah.
Right? I would not.
Yeah.
I would skip leg day. Right.
Right.
Don't skip any other day. But I would skip leg day. So, and I have to be able to have the dexterity. If I just can't get my leg up another 2-3 inches, that's it. Forget about it. I might as well just stay home. Right. Because I need that. All right. I need 2-3 more inches than what I'm actually capable of doing. So I don't have any room for error. Now I'm going to lose 2-3 inches. I might as well just stay home for the style that I fight.
Right.
So that would be one thing that I would do.
Yeah. And so for me, I would always do the same thing with lifting, except there was a time period where I was doing physical therapy and then still trying to compete. So the physical therapy was to mend my knee. So I was at the end of it, and all of that was leg workout. And I just needed to get through it. And that was the only time where I was like, all right, normally I wouldn't do this, but in this case, I got to keep this thing staying strong. And it did affect me in some ways because I felt just gassed. I was great during the day. Probably did some of my best forms ever during the day. It was funny. It was one of those times where I won both runoffs by like 3 or 4 like points. Like no one was even close. You know, like I got first throughout. But then by the time I went to the finals, it was bad. Like I had 3 or 4 bobbles, and I ended up being like third when I won everything. You know, to get there. So that was one of those things like, oh God, you know, but it is what it is. So yeah, you definitely feel that, you know. Angel says he gets the haircut the day before he travels and eats his favorite food the night before. That's where I got the name sushi from, was because
that's true.
I would always go to a sushi restaurant the night before. And that was something that I'd always do, was that. So that's kind of where the nickname came. I know
you got expensive taste, man.
Right. All right.
What's Brett saying? For traditional weapons, the day before I travel, I work my bow form with a 1.5 steel pipe.
Nice.
Steel pipe. When I got there Friday night, the big traditional heavy bow felt like a toothpick. That's a really good point. People do things like that where they, increase it. You know, baseball players do it with the bats they swing before they go up and actually swing the bat that they're really going to do. When they're in the batter's box, they'll have 2 or 3 of them. And then when they actually go on right in front of the plate, they'll have 1. Yeah. That's a really good plan. I like that.
All right.
Gail is saying, Chris used to listen to, what is this?
Minnie Riperton. Loving
you. Who is that?
I don't know.
We're gonna have to look her up.
Oh man, yeah. Uh-oh.
So there's one thing I never understood.
Okay.
Right. And this is my thought process and the way that my brain functions is very important to how I approach certain things. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot like, I have to intentionally think about a lot of things differently than some other people.
Right.
But I just cannot understand at all whatsoever, and everybody does it, taking a nap before
that's right.
you compete.
That's right.
It doesn't make a lick of sense. You're literally doing nothing. You're gonna be groggy. You're gonna wake up. In fact, it would drive me nuts just sitting there. And I watch someone just sitting there take a nap, and then they get up and then they would go and kill it, and I would be upset.
Yeah.
And then somebody reminded me, and they was like, "Yeah, Alex, but that used to be you." And I'm like, "What the frick are you talking about, man?" And they were like, "Oh yeah, you used to never warm up. You would just hop in there and you'd piss everybody off because you would never warm up." And I was like, "Oh, all right. So never mind. It's just because I'm old."
Right.
It's just because I'm old. I'm getting cranky about it.
Yeah, because there's people
one.
like Jimmy Fallon would do that. John Valero would do that. All those guys, top forms. I would take a nap because I remember at the Battle of Atlanta, the first time John won the Battle of Atlanta as an adult, we had to like wake him up. They were calling his name to be up. Like, hey, get up. Went up there, did his form, and won. Yeah.
I can't even.
Yeah.
Just.
So it's crazy.
But you see, it's also different. Like I said, like I am such a calculated process type of person.
Right.
So, and that's also why, like, all right, here's another thing. Like, when your team has to go in together.
Yeah, we've talked about this. Yeah.
And then just go compete. Like, you just screwed. Like, I can't do it the way I normally would do it. Now I'm thrown off. Now I'm not at my best performance. This did not go the best possible way. Anyway.
Yeah. You have your routine. You have things you want to do. Yeah. I mean, I remember when I started like traveling and trying to go to as many tournaments as I could, and I would be like getting there right before. And I remember I did this at DC, and I didn't have any water. I was tired. I was dehydrated, and I was trying to run in, and I got right in, went in right to do creative forms. And I couldn't have my water bottle. I didn't have none of that stuff. And that was like part of my routine. No, I didn't. I did like a 20-second. I did like a 20-second form.
You just wanted to get the heck out of there.
And I was just like, man, I should have done this. And everyone's like, dude, that was really good form. But if it would have been maybe 10 seconds more, you probably would have been first or second. I was like, yeah, I just told him, I was like, I didn't have my water. I felt awful. I didn't eat, that kind of stuff. I need to make sure that I'm healthy, And I think that's, the biggest thing that a lot of us have to do. As far as music, like I used to not really listen to music much right before because the music music was in my head, which I would have a song in my head and I would just like be thinking of it or whatever, right? So everyone thinks, I'm crazy, but I guess I am a little bit when I compete.
No, I agree with you.
But I used to do more chill music than hype music. So when I was younger, I would actually listen to like Bob Marley before I would compete. I would just be chilling and getting relaxed.
You know what's funny about that?
Yeah.
So many years, Greg Betlock and I would travel together. I got some stories about this guy. Right? And he used to listen to Bob Marley.
Yeah.
And I just one time, because everybody this is when we had the CD players and we thought we were the Bob, right? So he's got a CD player and he's listening to them. And I'm like, bro, what are you listening to? And he goes, oh, Bob Marley. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
In the wild world of sports, are you listening to Bob Marley for? And he goes, oh, dude, calms me down, mellows me. Now it was good for him.
Yeah.
Because Greg
can get a little jittery.
At times he has anger issues. I'm gonna tell you this.
Well, yeah.
And I was the best, and really only because of me. Though I'm gonna tell you, I think I took a few years off his life because I would poke every button possible, right? Just because it was fun for me. I'm gonna be honest, right?
Right.
So, but he would calm. It would keep him calm. It would keep him focused. And I'm like, you know what? That's a great point. I don't really need music to pump me up.
Right. No.
I need to stay focused. Yeah. Right. But for forms, I actually needed to. Right.
Okay.
So it's all depends on the person. And I have tried so many different things. If there's something to try, you're like, oh yeah, this is a great thing to do. Hey, eat this before you go. Right. Yeah. Yeah. But some people have rituals as far as what they eat the day of competition.
Right. The day of. Or some people
don't understand this.
There's a lot of people that don't eat because they get sick. So they go the whole day without eating. I
don't understand how people really eat. I literally lose like 5 pounds every tournament weekend. Right. Because when the heck are you supposed to eat? There's never time to eat.
It's true. It's true. But I have to have something in me, or I'll feel crazy. And then. But yeah, I mean, no, the food part, that's true. That's a big one. I know that. So I used to go to doing the Bob Marley. Then later on, it kind of went to. I would always listen to Victory, Puff Daddy and Biggie, and that's one of the best ones. With that Rocky background.
The album.
So yeah, I love that one. That would pump me up. Another thing I know, like different things that people would do. For me, one of the first things was just remembering just Raymond throwing up, before he compete
That
from the nerves, And there's a lot of people, other people that would do that too. But I just remember like trash cans being like next to his ring. He would just always have one, And this was like 2000, 2001 kind of range, And
but he did it like
yeah, but no, I mean he's still he talked about it as well when he went for Colby's fight, right? And he went and yacked before her fight because he had more nerves for hers. He was like he couldn't handle it. He was talking about that on one of the shows recently.
But I think he mentioned like it got to the point where it's like even if he didn't feel so nervous to do it, like he felt like I have to force myself to do it because now it's going to be in my head. Like I've got to go through this process.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
that's interesting. The other funny one was Preston Clemens. All right. So
sorry, talking about this one.
So Preston used to shave his legs, right? I remember this, man.
Stop.
Yeah, so he would feel lighter and smoother and stuff. And now I don't know if he did that later on, but I remember in the 90s he would do that. And that was funny.
Well, I will say this.
Yeah.
For a very short period of time, I was a swimmer.
Okay. Right.
And I never
did that?
Never.
And everybody does that, man.
And everybody does.
That's why you didn't make it, dude.
Well, and the coach was like, "No, Alex, you got to do that." And I'm like, I just don't think it's gonna matter.
Right.
Right. Like the meets I've lost by a considerable amount.
Yeah, that little bit.
I said, and the meets I've won by a considerable amount. I'm not like I could be here, could be there. I'm feast or famine, man.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, let's put this one from Angel. This question from Angel.
No, let's go for it. What's this? What's this question? Read it up.
Yeah. So, do you guys have a superstitious thing you do after a win or loss between each tournament?
That is a very good
question.
That's a
good one.
I have done certain things. Here's something I did one time. I was given, when you get like your cards, it's like here you got first place, here you got second place. So there was a tournament where I should have just won. Like you just know, like I can beat everybody, right?
Right.
And like this division's mine. I'm not really focused on the division. Oh, I'm going to be focused. I need to be competing with these guys to win this whole thing. And I lost, and I took third place.
Mm-hmm.
So I kept that card that said, "Congratulations, third place."
Right.
And I kept it, and I was like, I need to look at this every day. I need to look at this every freaking day.
Yep.
So I put it in the visor of my car. Like, oh, like this is what you are, Alex. You're third place. You're third place. And I had to hold on to that for a little bit until I was ready to get rid of it. Right.
Right.
Because I also don't want to hold on to that. Because then if you let it hold on to it too long, now all of a sudden you can let doubt come in.
Yeah.
And what did we just talk about? We talked about Willie, right?
Yeah.
Who's like one of the most confident guys. And look at his success.
Right.
Right. And those things are correlated, right? So and until there was a time where I was ready to say, all right, I'm gonna rip this thing up. I am beyond that. And I'm never going back there again. All right. I had to keep that right there. That's a good thing.
Yeah, that is a good one. A lot of people used to do that with their belts, like that they got from NBL, right? And they would still wear their second place belt or their third place belt even after they won a title, because it would remind them that where they came from and where they wanted to go. That hey, it doesn't mean that I was a champion this past year, but I have not, and so I want to keep driving, and keep going. So
that's a good point. Yeah, that's a good one.
So that's a good one. I mean, there's not too many after for me. I mean, I'm just kind of the same way of just after a tournament, focusing on the next thing. I don't like to really look at video too much, like right after. I will later on, but I'll
what's Brett saying? Brett is saying after a fighting loss, I have to have 20 minutes by myself with silence to replay that fight in my head and figure out a way forward for the next outing. That's a
Right.
really good
Yeah.
point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is good.
I've had some moments like that where I needed to punch walls.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. No, I've had that too, man. It's just like frustration trying to figure out, okay, what's going on? Like, what something's not right here. So I mean, I've had several things like that. I'm sure a lot of us have just kind of wanted to go somewhere else for a while, and we didn't, no one saw
I've
you
had-
at the night show because you were somewhere else. We don't want to
Yep.
say
I've
where,
had
but
times where I
everyone knows.
wish I would have done what Brett just said, or I wish
Yeah.
it would have taken 20
Right.
minutes. So there was, I think in 2006, Greg
All
Betlock
right.
and I fought each other like a number of times because that's when, all right, that was the first year. Now he's on Paul Mitchell.
Right.
And I was like, and I always tried to stay out of his division. At that point, I'm like, well, just forget you, man. We ain't 20 minutes no more.
Yeah.
You're going to have to go through me.
Yeah.
Right. And the very first tournament up, we were in California. We're at the Compete Nationals. And we were fighting each other for first place. And we had a battle back and forth. We're pounding each other out of luck, right? But I swear I beat that dude. And he got the win. It was like 9-8 or something like that. It was like that, right?
Yeah.
And he comes up to me. He's like, "Man, great fight." And that was not what I wanted to hear at that point. And now I would never say this to another guy or to another fight. Never would I respond like this. But it was Greg, so I was like, "Man, get the fuck out of here, man! I beat you." He's like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah, I beat you. You know that was bull. I beat you."
Oh, God.
Right?
Oh, man.
We're still standing in the center of the ring. And I'm like, "I beat you, and you know it. You know that this ain't right." And we're literally arguing with each other.
Wow.
Right. So yeah,
Wow.
it was.
Yeah.
That was.
That's
I
great.
was that guy. I was that
Oh,
guy.
man. So
that
I
was
guess
wrong.
one of the pre-competition things I do, especially in forms, the person, or even if I know it's someone who's really like going to give me a run, that day, I'll start kind of going back and forth around the ring while they're doing their form, or even as they're walking in, and I'll just be staring at them during their whole form, and I'll just hoping that they catch I catch their eye, and I'm just getting pumped up off of whatever they're doing. I used to be that person that never looked at someone else. Now it's just kind of like I just use it to motivate me.
Yeah.
That, oh yeah, you're trying to take what's mine. You're trying to take what's mine. Let's go. And sometimes I've caught them, and they've been like, "Whoa, what? This guy's crazy."
See, this is what
And
I always
it's more
wonder
for
about.
me. It's not really to mess with them. It's more for me. You know what I mean? So, and again, that's another reason why I would love for the virtual forms tour to be in the same thing, because
Right.
so, but
So, Jeff, I always wonder about this because let's just be real and honest. The forms competition culture has a lot of fake. There are a lot of fake personalities.
Right.
Fake friendships.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like, "Oh, what's up, bro?" When they really absolutely hate each other.
Yeah. Big time.
Right?
Big time.
But everybody's fake. Everybody says, like, "Oh, so cool." Like, I just can't do that. I can't do that. I'm not a fake guy.
Right.
Right. So does anybody ever just been like, just looked at someone and smiled and said, "I'm a whoop your butt"? Like, you can't touch me. You need judges to rob this whole competition here.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest. That there's no way you could beat me. Does anybody ever say that? Has anybody ever done that?
I've seen it not too long ago. Yeah, I've seen it at Super Grand.
Tell me.
So, Carmichael was last week, my friend. But yeah, it was a great show, and we had a lot of fun with that. So, as far as that, so all right, Tim Conkle, and we'll get into this. Tim Conkle and Yul Carter at Super Grands 2015, Hilton Head. No, I'm sorry. No, it wasn't Hilton Head. Charleston. No, my bad. It was Hilton Head. All right. Anyways, South Carolina, and they're kind of going back and forth. It's pretty much them two making to the finals against each other for all of the open forms divisions, right?
Okay.
And it's getting kind of heated as far as like them getting a little pissed off at each other. So, and then next thing you know, Tim's doing his form, and he's winning a lot of it. He's the favorite to win a lot of it.
Okay.
Yul for some reason just thinks, hey, he did too many gymnastics. In NBA all the time, there were 7 gymnastics.
Yes, the 7 trick.
Yeah. So he just starts going, there's 7. I think he did 7. Next thing you know, like Tim just goes right up to his face and says, no. And he named all of his different ones. He's like, that's not 7, sit down, you know, or whatever. And they started like kind of talking back and forth with each other. And it kind of got like, I'm like, are they going to fight? Like, what's going on here? And it was the craziest thing I've ever seen. And then, you know, later on, you know, when Yul was winning his first one, he was excited and, you know, he won. But his friends like jumped the stage while like Tim was still there. And, you know, I understand both sides. You know, it was kind of disrespectful in Tim's view. And it was also those guys just pumped up for their friend. But there was a lot of heat during that moment. That was pretty crazy seeing that. You know, so I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. Yeah. Oh, I know, but I just remember Willie and I looking at each other like, "Whoa, all right, what's gonna happen here?" But yeah, you know, I mean, even the first time that Tim and I really competed against each other, we weren't really buddies, and now we're like best buds. But
isn't that how it typically goes?
Yeah,
though?
yeah. So
it's kind of how it goes. Yeah.
We'll talk about him as well another time soon. Karate Phil.
So here's one kind of tradition. I will call it a tradition now that in my later years of competition and travel is what I've always done. And this is not something that I decided I was going to do. I was a part of it. So Brett Cook and Scott Craigle Brett Cook is Ross Cook's dad, and Scott Craigle is Dominic Craigle's dad. So these dads, they're of students that I was really tight with. They would tell me, "Hey, Alex, every place we go, we decide where we're going to go out to eat that Saturday night." And I'm like, that's a fantastic idea. And they said, but sometimes we can't do it Saturday night, so we have to do it Friday night. So make sure you weigh in ahead of time. I'm like, weigh in ahead of time? Like, what do you mean? They're like, oh, yeah, when we go out, we make sure that it's like the bomb.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, how do you find the places? They're like, before we even leave, we already know where we're going the week before. Like, you guys do it like that.
Wow. Okay.
So, like, here's an example. So we go to, so the Ocean State, all right? So the Ocean State Grand Nationals, there's not a lot going on over there, right?
No.
It's in a smaller area. So they find the best seafood place to go, right? And in Rhode Island, like, it's going to be great.
Yeah.
So they go to this place. I'm going to name drop a restaurant. Go there because it's fan-freaking-tastic. It's called the Crow's Nest, okay?
Okay.
This place is no joke. So it's like a 2.5-pound stuffed lobster, right? Lobster. Gotta have the lobster. And I would eat 4 of them if my stomach would allow. All right, it's like that. It's so good. But then that's why there's like, hey, make sure you weigh in ahead of time before we do this. Right. If we got to do it on Friday, but if it's stuff like that, you know, you got to tell them, like, guys, we're not doing this. We're not doing a meal like this until Saturday night.
Right.
But with these things like that, like, we'll decide where we're going to go. Wherever we go, it's going to be amazing, right? We're going to go have this amazing barbecue, or we're going to have this kind of brick style oven pizza. And there's all sorts of different stuff. And so they have really changed my outlook on tournaments, because if you let the tournament just eat you up in this hotel the whole time, you'll resent the whole process. Right?
Yeah. I remember growing up. Yeah, I just remember growing up, and that was something that my mom made sure that we did. You know, and I think most kids need to do that, and I think we've made it harder for them to do that. Starting on Friday morning and starting Thursday night and all that stuff. It used to be Friday was when we would go and find something historical in the area and go to it, or something that's famous in the area, you know, like we went to Cheers, you know, and things like that, different stuff. So it became an experience. It also makes it, when you're missing all this school, the teachers can't get that mad when you go and show, hey, this is where I went during this time, right? So it's a smart thing to do. I know some parents still do that. I know it's harder now as we have so many divisions and start it so early, but that's a good thing that I think parents and people need to do, So when I was taking some of my students with me to tournaments, we made sure we did that. All right, where are we going to go? Because when you're going, that's another thing. Like when I go to the West Coast, I'm going to have to fly out on Thursday because I need a day to get kind of used to the time change and stuff, the time difference. So
well, that's what other people do as
yeah.
well, and they would say like, I have to get on the 5 a.m. flight, right? Or
Right.
I don't fly before this time, all right? And some of those things you got to do,
right?
But
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
I don't really.
Well, it just depends on what you're doing that next day and everything else. So yeah.
Hakeem Walker.
We have a couple people.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well,
I was just going to say we have a couple
say
people
this.
on YouTube. Yeah.
We
have a couple people on YouTube just asking where we're from. So.
That he just can't when he travels on Friday. He can't fight on Friday. He's like, I'll fight like garbage. Then on Saturday he'll like be in the finals. I'm like, what?
True. Yeah.
Yeah. So what's happening right now?
No, just some guys are asking where we're from. So Alex lives in the Chicago area. Yep. I'm from Lynchburg, Virginia. So I'm from Virginia as well.
Chicago by way of Minnesota.
We have some guys from the DC area that are talking on YouTube. So
what's up, Karate Phil?
There you go.
Where are you from, Karate Phil?
That's I think that's Phil Baruti actually. So
yeah, where's he from?
He's DC area. So
okay, all right, good.
So, former DKT member and big forms champion and stuff in the early 90s. So
glad to have you, Phil.
Yep. So so I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. I know the one thing, as soon as the tournament's over, the first thing I do is cut that stupid band off of my wrist. I cannot stand it.
Some people leave them. Some people leave them for months.
Leave it on and for months until their next tournament. And I'm like, that is disgusting. You know how much sweat and nastiness is on that?
A lot of times it's temperate.
Mine would be like
nostalgia.
Right. Yeah. Okay. I mean, it's crazy, but yeah. So, all right. Are we ready to go into? I guess kind of like.
Yeah. There's one last thing because I will say this part because this one I never understood this part. All right, the last routine that we'll do, and I used to make fun of Greg Betlock every freaking time he did this because we would always fly together, and it's one of those things where it's like I'm hungry, but I don't want to eat just trash. I don't want to go to McDonald's, but I'm like, maybe a breakfast burrito's not so bad. And he goes, oh no, man, Burger King. And I'm like, Burger King breakfast? What are you gonna eat, man? He goes, the French toast sticks, bro.
Yeah,
and I'm like, stop. Every freaking time. The French toast sticks. I'm like, who thinks? Oh, French toast sticks.
Yeah.
Who thinks about that? Greg, what's wrong with you, buddy? Anyway, love you. All right. Are we moving on?
Yeah. Gail had a good one when they came up to my tournament. They went to the safari park, right? And so you actually like a drive-through zoo, and you can go with your car, your van, or whatever, and
wait a minute.
The animals come up to you and you feed them as you do that. And then you go up and like big animals like zebras and giraffe. Well, giraffes are in a different area. They're not in the trail.
Wait.
Bison, like buffalo, like big old buffalo come up to your car. Yeah, it's crazy. Ostriches, all kinds of stuff. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Like wild animals just come up to your car?
Yeah, and so you stay on the trail, and then they come up, and you're just watching them and looking at them. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
What's to keep a bison from just bumping you off the road?
It almost happened, and I was in a government van too, because I was working at a government job for the Job Corps at the time, and that almost happened. It ran right in and stopped right there. And I was like, oh, okay, this is not good.
Dude, I would think, what would keep a baboon from just ripping off your tire?
Right. Yeah, there was none of that. No monkeys. They were all in separate areas. But yeah, it was pretty crazy.
That's funny. That's funny.
That's a funny comment that just came up.
What's that? What am I missing here?
Can you all shout out to John Berg that he owes me the cash I won in 91?
All right, John, pay up.
I saw him not too long ago at John Chung's at the beginning of the year. Yeah, so
you could pawn one of your gloves.
Man. Yeah, one of those world titles,
those rhinestone gloves you got.
Oh man. All right. And yes, Manny Negrella is still around, but anyways. All right, the next thing, are we going to get into our quick
Yeah.
predictions, and then we're going to just kind of talk about the future of 2021.
Yeah,
So
let's do that.
because all right, we're all excited about virtual fighting tour, virtual forms tour. Pro Point happens this weekend. And right now we need these types of things, right? The only tournaments we're having are virtual forms tournaments, really. So this type of stuff is making us excited. But I want to know what's going to happen when we go back to a tournament or 3 tournaments every weekend, and then we have these as well. What's going to happen? That's kind of the way I want to go. I want to hear what some of you guys think in the comments. But who's your pick for the wild card part for this?
Oh, like who do I think the wild card is?
No, who do you think's going to win it? Well, who do you think's
what
the
are the
mystery
matchups
fighter?
again?
They haven't. There's no matchups yet, so it's just
they haven't just
right. So
what do we got? We got Bailey. We got Christian Rivas.
We're talking about the wild card, the first day. Who's going to make the wild card spot out of the 7 fighters and the mystery fighter? All right. So, we got Speedy. We have Dylan Brandes. We got John Curatolo. I think, to me, that would be the one that would win it, is John. I think John is probably in a lot of ways, maybe
So it's 3 guys.
There's
plus
there's like 7 guys and then a mystery fighter. Okay. And I'm not sure who the mystery fighter will be.
The mystery fighter is going to mess the whole thing up because it's hard to pick when there's somebody out there you don't know.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
So I would put John up there as a favorite to get out of that. I think the mystery fighter definitely could. For me, I'm thinking it could be Vito. I'm sorry, not Vito. Victor. Sorry, Victor Suarez. I would like to see that. There could also be several.
If Victor is going to be the mystery guy.
Yeah. That would be
fun.
Interesting. Yeah, that'd be fun. You have also from Dojo. Why am I missing his name right now?
Zane.
No. Guy from Chicago area, the little guy.
Zach Winder.
Yeah, Zach. He has a good shot.
Zach is probably the most talented. No, Zach is the most talented.
Right.
Zach is the most talented. Zach's the best out of the whole group. Zach's the best kicker on including Enrique Latona. Zach is the best kicker on that whole fight card. He's the best, right? Zach, I love that guy. I love Zach Winder.
Yeah.
Zach doesn't usually get. Zach beats himself, but he knows that, right?
Yeah.
I got to go with John Curatolo to make it out of the wild card.
Yeah,
John Curatolo just wins too dang much.
Yep.
John Curatolo is the best super lightweight. He's the best super lightweight in the world. All right? He is. Right? He wins too dang much. It doesn't get any respect.
Right.
It's John Curatolo.
All right. So now moving on to the next one. So we have, let's just do it as John moves on, right? So we have John. We have so Blake Spence, Bailey Murphy, Ryan George, Chad Cannon. We have Enrique.
We don't know the matchups yet, right?
No, we have Enrique. We have Robbie Lavoie, and there's one more that I'm missing.
Was it Christian?
Yes, Christian Rivas. So that's a good 8, man. I mean, even if someone else gets in there, because John probably should be in there. He's a top lightweight, in my opinion. So I think that's going to be great. It depends on the matchups, big time. If maybe you say 2, I would say 2 or 3 because it really depends. It's hard to go, man. There's so many ways it could go. I think Bailey is on a roll right now. I think he has, you got to put him as maybe the favorite. Ryan, if Ryan is on his game, can really do well there.
The most dangerous guy there.
And Enrique.
If everybody's on their game, the most dangerous is Robbie Lavoie.
Yes, exactly. And that's what I mean. That's why it's hard to say. It really depends on the matchups. Because another one, to me, I think Robbie would be the one that could pull it off because he thrives in this type of atmosphere. You know what I mean? in these
Robbie's a guy.
So it's just
Robbie's a guy that I've never fought. And that sounds weird. Like, wait, we have fought this long in the game, and I've never fought him because he's always been like a super lightweight, and I've always been like a light heavyweight or middleweight, right? And you know, and then the teams I was matched up with, there was always a better matchup to fight him, and vice versa.
Right.
I don't know how I would fight him. To be honest,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know how I would do it and like be. But definitely wouldn't be favored, right?
Yeah.
No, at all. I mean, I'm going to go with Robbie. Robbie's my guy to win that one. That's what I'm going to say.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, I'd say for me, it's hard to pick without knowing the matchups, but
I'm going to pick Robbie to win the whole thing.
But all right, you're picking Robbie. I'm going to pick. I think Bailey comes back with a vengeance, and after losing to Jack, so I'm going to go with Bailey. So. And of course, yeah. So as far as that, we have these events. What does everyone think? Like, what do you think? How is this going to work? Are they going to set up? Is this going to be something that maybe they pair up with a tournament and this is the finals? I don't know if that's the best idea or not because it just adds on to something else that's already long.
I hope it doesn't.
It could be its own thing, but it's going to be hard to get everybody to work together and not on the same weekend and not to make the other thing though that could happen is that this could be something, maybe I'm giving some ideas, I don't know, but it could be something that could benefit like a regional tournament that's just during the day and then that goes on at night, right? And everyone's already hanging out together and they go and watch the stuff together that night. There's ways to do that. If you partner with anyone, what do you mean? Why do you after a karate tournament, do you go and watch UFC fights? Like,
yeah, I mean, see, I'm a different guy.
Yeah,
I kind of want to get now at this point.
Right.
I want to get out of that building.
No, I get that. I'm not saying. All right. I think you're misunderstanding what I'm saying.
I'm not misunderstanding.
You're thinking I'm saying like have a live show at that venue, at that tournament. I'm not saying that. Like they could host I guess maybe it could be that. All right. But I'm saying just have several after parties that are watching that together. You know what I mean?
But who does that benefit? That benefits the tournament, right?
Not really. It's just
I kind of think it does.
I mean, it could. I mean, why not though?
And so it benefits the tournament more than it does Pro Point or
not more
via VFT.
You bring more people into watching what you're doing.
So Pro Point and VFT, it's already working really well. People love it, right?
Right.
And they're already clamoring after it. Like give it I'd keep going, especially virtual. I don't know how Pro Point's going yet, right?
Yeah, it hasn't. This weekend's the first one.
Pro Point, just take my money.
Right.
Or no, I'm sorry. Virtual Fight Tours. Just take my money. Just run my credit card.
Right.
That's what it's like for me. So, and think about that. And that's why I don't need to go anywhere. And I get to just sit back, and I get to experience high level competition at its best.
Yeah.
And it's right here like this, and I still get to have dinner with the kids.
Well, it's true. No, I
know what I mean?
No, what I'm saying though is that if they instead of Pro Point or VFT putting it on the same weekend as a big national tournament, do it on a weekend that's an off weekend, but there's still going to be regional tournaments, and they can work something together with those regional tournaments to get people to watch their show and say, hey, all right, we're going to be here. We're not going to do a finals. We're all going to push everyone to watch this as the finals. There could be partnerships worked in that way.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
I kind of see what you're saying.
So if it's a regional tournament that's so late, or even it's just out of the way, or there are still some tournaments that, even if you go home, you could still work with, hey, I have a discount, or some of, this is working with this event here, there. I don't know. Maybe I'm giving too many ideas.
No.
But,
All right, Jeff. Here's one
right.
where I feel like this could work. If there was a tournament that decided we're not doing a finals.
Yeah.
We're not doing a finals. We've run everybody off. All right. It's 4:30. The tournament's done. Grand championships are given out. Everybody's happy. Everybody's ready.
Yep.
Right. And then here you go.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why that's not possible. Why people just don't try that. Like, dude,
it is.
like
it
that.
is.
And here's the thing.
Like,
if you think about it, like, all right, the Irish Open does their gala. That's on Saturday night. But the big thing, the Grand Championship, that stuff's over by 3 o'clock.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Right? That's 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. They're starting their party that goes until like 9 in the morning.
Right. Exactly. No, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like that kind of, that's why I like the virtual fight tour, because it starts at 6. It's done by 8:30. I can still do whatever I want to do on a Saturday night. I can, like the other day, there was a big UFC event. It didn't connect with any of that. Didn't make it where we were going against any big time sports or whatever. The main thing may be starting at 7:30 or 8. So I think it works well, but I think there's ways for, okay, that's a weird question.
What's a weird question?
Why doesn't UFC create a forms champion? It's not even in their area, it's not even in the same realm. So that's why they don't really appreciate forms. So that's not something that's going to happen.
But
there will be the
question.
VFT champions, and that'll be Virtual Forms Tour. So you can check that out. That'll be December. What am I missing? The 12th, I think. December 12th, because the 19th they just announced the first team fight.
Team matchup.
Yeah. So, but
I like what Jesse's doing with this.
Me too.
The pro point thing, I'm not quite sure how it's going to work, because you still have to run it like a tournament.
Yeah.
I like what Jesse's doing more without seeing the pro point thing. I'm going to give the pro point thing the benefit of the doubt. It's like, I don't know yet.
I think they're going to be very professional, though. I'm telling you, I think the look, the feel, all that's going to be very professional. So it's going to be maybe a real enjoyable viewing experience. So
from the viewer standpoint, though, the way the virtual fight tour is doing it, I think is the best, because when we just sit back and unless you're in the building,
right,
just watching one round live, it goes too quick.
Yep,
it goes too quick for you to understand. Unless you're ringside and you're experiencing it, right? It's not fast if you're watching it. It's not a long fight if you're watching it.
Right.
So the way he has it going with 3 rounds, you'll really get into it, because it's easy.
It's easy.
Easy to lose track of score. Because I have done it almost every time.
Right.
I'm like, wait, where are we at now? And then you get into it. Right.
Yeah. So I mean, I think there's some things that he jumped in and went right at it, which I like, and you just learn along the way. Why wait and wait and wait? He built an audience already and has it going, and now he's just going to keep making the production better and better. So the next few times there will be the score up there and the time and all that stuff. So I like it. I'm interested to see how Pro Point is. So I don't know.
They're doing it like a tournament style, but there's that other thing. So they got to do that. What's that thing that they got to do with they stand on the pedestal thing? What is that?
I don't understand that. I don't know what the point is, but
I think it's almost to like highlight, like the fighter. Maybe it's going to be. I'm going to give them the benefit, because I actually think that part could be cool, where they're going to stand on the pedestal and they're probably going to give some kind of announcement. This fighter's done this. They're this tall. They weigh this much. They're from here. This is what their tendencies are. This is what their accomplishments are.
The video of it didn't make it seem like that's what it was. You know what I'm saying? So, so that is, I'm not sure. I mean, the other thing it could do if they stand like this, maybe it could do like a full body scan and muscle tone. I don't know. I mean, who knows? I mean, it could be crazy.
Oh, wait, that's right. They're going to be shirtless.
Yes, that's right. They're going to be shirtless and no headgear. So
the no headgear thing is cool, because then it's like, all right, it's also hard if you're not into the sport to really get what's going on, because you can't see their face.
Right.
So you really kind of get removed from it. That's why people aren't invested into football players as much as teams.
Yeah.
Right.
True.
That's also
True.
why people are more into basketball players versus teams, because
Correct.
you are connected to the player more because you can see them.
See them. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So that part's good. The shirtless one, listen, there's been times where I would have relished the opportunity. Like, yeah.
I tell you,
Yeah.
I don't like seeing the
Yeah,
pro.
I
Was
would
it
have
the
done
Free Fighting
that.
Cup in Hungary? There's some people that need to put a shirt on.
There's been times where I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, let me unveil this for you.
Yes, Mike.
And then
Exactly.
there's
That's why
times
there's
where
no
I'm saying,
heavyweights. That's why there's no heavyweights.
right,
And then
Mike's exactly it.
we're gonna see
Shirtless.
some
There's
skinny,
no way there's heavyweights.
skinny
Exactly.
people.
That's
Like me.
why they're all lightweights.
Right.
Right.
Oh, it's gonna be
Because
funny.
there's a few
So,
heavyweights that would you'd be looking at, you'd be like,
yeah.
this looks scary. Like they're gonna
Right.
kill me because they're just shredded and they're 230. There's few of them, But what are you gonna do?
Oh man, so I don't know. I'm excited about it. I think in both ways, the forums and the Pro Point, and the virtual fight tour, it's way to sell stories, and which is what we need to do, and highlight several athletes that maybe don't get past that hump of the seeds and the politics and everything. But it's like, hey, I like watching this person compete. Let's put him up there and watch him again. I like that part because I think there's some of the best people that most of us love watching sometimes don't make it to stage, or sometimes don't get in the top 4, and they can put on a show. So I'm excited to see that. And I think the more that we do that, it should be cool. I'm interested to see what it's like. I'm going to be one of the commentators for the Forms Tour. So December is going to be a busy month for everybody. So we will see how it goes. But
yeah, I'm stoked about the virtual Forums tour.
Yeah.
So because we got
Rashad,
Eugene, Alan Davies, and Mr.
And
Viral,
Yep.
Shaquan Parsons.
It's going to be awesome, man.
This is going to be
So,
great.
That's going to be great. In the 3-round type format with the triple threat. It's great. So it's going to be fun.
So wait, who's the other judge? It's you, Carmichael, and who's the
Well,
other
we're
judge again?
commentators. We're not judges.
Oh, you're not judges.
No, we're the commentators.
Who are the judges for the Forums tour?
I don't know yet. So
Stop.
now we could be the judges, but
I kind of feel like you shouldn't. That would be a conflict of interest if you're a commentator and a judge.
Well, I know. I'm just saying, like it could have gone either way. We could have been the judges for it or the commentators. But
who would be a good judge for something like that?
I would say some of the guys I had for the Ironman, like a Matt Emming or a John Su.
Yep.
The guys that are going to look at the intricacies that it's going to take.
That are still connected, also.
Connected, but not like they're not into it. So they're going to be like, oh well, this person usually beats him, or this person usually wins. That kind of thing. It needs to be someone completely out of it, but in it. You know what I mean? Still knowing that.
Right.
All right. And looking at the finer details and the showmanship part. That's what was really cool when we did the Ironman part, was hearing still like just the way John Su looks at forms, and the way Matt Emming does, and the way Carmichael does, and myself, us four just talking about it was really cool. So yeah. Where do you hide your MP3 in headphones? It's fun.
Maybe like Calvin. You know who Calvin Choco would be a good judge?
Yeah.
I almost think Ross Levine would be a good one.
Yes, Ross would be a good one.
Ross Levine would be a good judge.
That would be a good one.
Right.
So
that would be a good celebrity judge.
They may be getting maybe Alex Davidoff maybe in there. He's from that area.
Oh yeah.
But I'm not sure. They don't have to be there physically there with this.
No.
So they could be at home. I judged a lot of.
Hey, we got time. Maybe it gets altered. Maybe they are going to be there.
Who knows?
I hope. I hope it gets altered.
But
I hope so.
We'll see.
Yeah.
All right. What
This has been a great hang, man.
Yeah, this has been a fun time. Thank you guys for joining in, talking. We're gonna have to go back and look at all the comments. There's been a bunch.
I know. There was so many. We didn't even get to all of them.
Yeah, so many. Let's see. Let's take 2 questions. Anyone got questions for us that make?
Yeah. Anybody got any questions for Jeff or Alex? Like, what's our ritual or this or that, or what did we hate or what did we love?
Yeah.
Because there's been some stuff.
Colin says go Team AKA Alan
Yeah,
Davies. All
yeah,
right.
that's right.
Yep. So yeah, I mean, I know for me this has been a crazy year, and definitely for sport karate. And I know there's still new things that people are planning coming up, and I'm working on some of that with other leagues and everything. And I know that we have this coming up with the future of the VFT and the Pro Point and what that's going to look like. What do you guys think?
I got a question for you, Jeff. I got a question. Have you ever at a tournament, like right when you're gonna go compete, or you're doing something, you're getting ready to compete, and you ripped your uniform or spilled something on your uniform?
Yes.
And now you got to go compete.
Yeah. So I get bloody noses a lot. So
you do?
Yeah. So like from allergies and stuff, I don't anymore because the way I changed my eating, my diet. But I used to, and I would be getting pumped up and everything from my form. My nose started bleeding in all my white uniform. So that happened a bunch. And I've had issues, where I've had my weapon break right before I went on stage to compete. I've had, my pants rip. I've had all that stuff happen, man. All kinds of things. So Drew asked, do you think these virtual events, I think he's talking about the virtual forms ones, right, are going to be viable? I think so in some ways, because it makes it to where people don't have to travel, right? And maybe for people that want to stay active and maybe want to do a virtual to get them warmed up and ready for a big one. So maybe you're going to see people go to less physical tournaments, do more of these, and then go to a big one at the end of the month or whatever, I think it will. As far as, we've been talking about that, Drew, as far as this virtual fight tour and the Pro Point, I think it's a success right now. I'm just trying to figure out how it's going to work with the current system we have, so, but yeah. As far as, belts. Oh yeah. You ever left your belt and didn't have your karate belt?
I had someone steal my belt.
Oh, yep.
Oh my gosh.
I've had someone steal my gi top before, so.
I love this belt. All right. My favorite is a Tokaido satin finish belt.
Yes.
Love that.
I have a review actually that I keep forgetting to be able to send.
Tokaido?
Yes.
Tokaido's a great belt. All right. It's up there. Mine doesn't. I don't want mine to look like that. I don't want my belt to look like that.
This is what happens.
Black belt. It's a gray belt.
When you get a satin belt, it goes like that. It's the best.
Yeah, but I never really let it get to that point. I got others.
Oh, come on. You gotta keep wearing it.
Point is, it was like 2014. Yeah, 2014 Battle of Atlanta. And I got done fighting Ray. Ray and I fought for first place, and Ray beat me for first place.
Mm-hmm.
And I put, oh no, it wasn't my belt. No, I take that back. It was my headgear. Someone took my headgear.
Okay.
And then later on that next October, somebody took my belt.
Wow.
Right. Then the same year, somebody took my headgear, which I had for like almost a decade.
Right.
And then somebody took my belt, which I had for not a decade, but all right. So anyway, at this point, it was my headgear. And I'm like, I love this headgear. They don't even make that headgear anymore. It's horrible. All I did was I put it on a chair. I'm sitting there, hands on hips, like crap. Turn back around, gone. Like you are ballsy, you know?
Right.
Same type of thing with my belt.
Man.
All right, get enough. I put it on a chair because I don't let my belt ever touch the floor.
Nope.
Right?
Can't do that.
Hands on hips, sitting up. What the heck did I do? Turn back around, gone.
Right in front of you.
I didn't even step anywhere. I didn't even go anywhere.
Wow.
You are gutsy. Someone, probably the same guy, took both my belt and my headgear. Someone's just trying to be me, I guess. I don't know.
Drew asked, what do we think of the belts that are pre-weathered? Terrible. I hate that.
Pre-weathered?
Yeah. Like, you can buy one like this. You don't have to wear it out like you should. So I've had this one since I was 13. So I've had, and I still wear it all the time.
If you think about it, people buy jeans that are
already
tattered.
I know, it's the same thing. Yeah.
And I hate those too.
No. I know another someone that we've mentioned. I'll go ahead and mention him because we always bust his balls. Ramel got one of those belts and then took a knife and cut it to make it look tattered. I used to hate that. I'm like, come on, dude. Start wearing it out. It's come on, man. Don't do that. That used to piss me off.
But and there's other people that will change their belts to make sure that it's always nice, clean, cut, brand new. Right. I kind of like that. Not gonna lie. Well, I wouldn't wear it because it feels weird. Like I need it at least broken in. You can just snap it. There it is. Use your belt's tied. All right.
Yeah, that's the only good thing about it is that because when you get a new one, it's hard to keep it tight. But I don't know. But man, this has been fun.
Thank you guys hanging, man.
Next week, all right. I'm excited. Next week. So this is a great one from last week. We had an awesome episode with Carmichael Simon. You guys haven't gone and listened to it yet. Listen to the podcast. Carmichael Simon episode was amazing. So we go from this thing where kind of a connection for me with someone that I guess it's kind of like my month, but someone that I looked up to and had a lot of connection with me, in our area. So we interviewed Carmichael, and now next week we have Rudy Raynon. So Rudy Raynon is another John Valera student and amazing competitor, one of the most innovative ones of our time, amazing tricker.
Innovative in a lot of ways.
Innovative. He is a professional tricker that actually goes on tour to trick. He has been a professional dancer in Quest Crew, and he also just released his first EP. So he is a producer and rapper.
This dude is multi-talented.
We're going to have some amazing talks with him about his martial arts career, what it's like to get into this, maybe helping some of you guys that are watching wanting to get into music, wanting to get into tricking professionally, dance, whatever, the next level of that. So and it's going to be cool for us. Also, him and I are going to share some training stories and different things.
Good.
So it's going to be fun. So we'll have a lot of fun. So next week, Rudy Raynon.
I'm really excited about it.
So it's going to be great, guys. So thank you guys so much.
This has been another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I'm Alex Dingman.
I'm Jeff Doss. See you guys next week.